Do 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 do. Hey everybody. Do, 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 do. Anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Where is Mr. Herbig? Ah, crap. Nothing says welcome back from vacation like dumping half a LaCroix all over your keyboard. There was a fill-up on my screen.
They make a spray for that. You can just clean that right off there.
Yeah, you missed me just dumping half a LaCroix all over my keyboard on camera.
Ah. That's why I have my bottle with the big base. You gotta have a nice wide base.
Yeah, it was just out of reach and it just went up. I was setting it back down. And it's like, we're going to go down level? No, we're not. And you'd be like, it's just carbonated water. It's still a mess.
Yeah.
All right. Everything seems to be working. Just right where my mouse is supposed to go is like wet and sticky now.
Not in a good way.
I was waiting for some sort of comment. All right, I'm going to blow my nose real quick and then we can start. Hello, am I still around?
Ronry. I'm so Ronry.
Yeah. It's been a while since I got to knock the dust literally off the microphone and the cat hair. All right, so I'm going to throw this timer up, and we're going to let everyone know that we're about to get started. All right. Haha, 153 left.
All right.
We don't need no stinking countdown. Aha, don't need the pre-show one. All right. Got that. Got that. Bars are moving. That means things are good. Quick check just to make sure the recorder's running. And we are good to go. And my fingers are all pruny. Because I was scrubbing some minis and now my fingers are all pruny. All right. And you said you're ready?
Yep.
Mute that just in case. Alrighty. Then we'll start the show in 3, 2, 1. Thanks to everyone who supported this podcast over on our Patreon, patreon.com/boards and swords. Hey, if you donate, then you can also help me get a LaCroix that I can then spill all over my keyboard. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the funk. Gotta have that funk.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt across.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you
told
have.
it.
At
Well,
least
I'm
twice.
telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast with bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games in there as well. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Chris Renshaw, and I'm going to throw it over to my other co-host, Mr. Philip Herbig.
Hey there, what's going on, everybody? We want to welcome you to a record-breaking, almost on time.
Almost on time.
Almost on. Only we started 3 minutes late.
Something like
That's got to be something for the record books there.
that. It's
welcome
almost
to,
like this far in, we're finally starting to get the hang of things.
yeah. So next time we're gonna completely screw it up because that's how this
I mean,
works.
you're excluding the possibility that we might screw it up this time.
That he is right. He is right. That could happen.
I have only begun to screw up.
What was that? I have not yet begun to fight. I have not yet begun to screw up.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's the I threw the line out for you, and you grabbed it and looked at it for a while, and then
did.
and then ate it.
Nom, 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 nom.
Just like everybody's about to eat up this news. Just like to remind everybody that they should go check out boardsandswords.com/discord, where you can suggest some news stories for us to talk about here, and because we need to grow that community, because it's like right now mostly me and Beetle talking, and with occasionally a couple other people, but we would love to have and talk to y'all. But first up, hey Philip, what do the Origins Game Fair and November 2nd have in common?
I don't know, Chris. What do they have in common?
If you're still wearing a mask, you might get some weird looks.
Got him!
Yeah, so Origins came out and said, hey, we're not going to... You know how we said we're going to make masks required? We're not going to do that anymore. So organizers announced an update to its COVID safety plan to reflect that mask usage is still highly recommended but not required. So please be aware that we still continue that all attendees and partners must be vaccinated who are eligible and provide proof of vaccination. But you must still, or you do not have to wear masks at this time. The only problem is they like announced this like right after people or companies could pull out. So if there were people that were like, if there were small publishers that didn't want to expose, potentially that disagreed with the policy, they had like no time to like they could roll over technically, because I think it says later on down here, they could roll over their fees or whatever to the next year, but they couldn't straight up cancel. And there was a lot of people mad, like, it's kind of sketch to do it. Like, it was like within like a week of whatever the deadline was. It was like a week after the deadline. But
Gotcha. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a sec. I saw the article, and when I popped it open, the BGG like orange logo is in the tab,
yeah.
and I thought it was Origin, the gaming software. that's on
Oh
the
yeah, it
computer.
does. It is that very similar.
Took me a second. I was like, oh, that's right. That's the thing.
Yeah. All I know
Yeah.
is even if COVID's not a thing, I think I may still wear masks, especially on the con floor. Like, coming home for PAX Unplugged with no con crud, kind of nice.
And but they're putting it out there. It's like it's up to you.
Yeah.
We're not saying do it. We're not saying don't do it. We're just saying it is your choice.
All right. Next up, when you train a new airbender, are they considered steam forged? So this is actually an update of a story that we talked about before. Which, by the way, it's hard to come up with jokes for the same story multiple times. But Steamforged Games reveals RuneScape Kingdoms Shadow of Elvorg. So we've got, this is going to launch on Kickstarter May 31st. Developed by Steamforged Games in a partnership with Jagex, the creator of the RuneScape franchise. Cooperative game, but the biggest thing is the minis and all the stuff. So you got like that big honking dragon dude. And then let's see what else we got. We got
Apparently that is the main baddie of the game.
I would hope so. Because if
Elvarg.
there's something worse than that, that's kind of scary.
Nah, that's
And
just
then this looks
that's
like
the level 1 boss.
Yeah. You haven't even seen my final form. I'm assuming these are hero minis, probably. That looks like a chef. I really hope this is a character like a player mini.
There we go.
Can I please be a chef with a pickaxe? I want that to be a thing.
A chef with a pick. Oh yeah, that's
Like the
I get the feeling he's some kind of a cleric monk type character.
I mean, it could be, but that hat looks like a chef's hat.
Yeah, that is very.
Is that just the same picture? Okay, so it's got everybody in there.
Except for Mr. Pickaxe.
Yeah. Gotta say though, right now Steamforged is in some hot water, if you will.
Oh.
That there was I don't have any official sightings on this, but apparently the Dark Souls D&D 5th edition version role playing game that they did, the rules came out and the rule books got sent out to backers, and backers are like, "What the F?" Like, it's apparently really bad as far as rules go. Like, it was lots of errors. Hard to understand, but to the point where I need to find the article, and somebody feel free to post it in the chat if you can find it for me. But there was something about they were having to revise the rule book and reprint collector's editions to send to the backers because the rules were that bad. And
isn't that how some people say the game is though? Really hard to understand, handful of errors everywhere.
I mean, you're not wrong. Life imitates art, I guess.
Exactly. That's it's what the people were used to anyway, so
Yeah.
they just kept giving it to them.
Okay, so I got a theoretical situation for you.
All right.
You find a ghost ship, and it's a ghost ship of like an old British merchant ship, and you raid it. Is what the treasury come back with? Do you consider that booty? All right. Speaking of Pirates of Skydock. It is a Starfinder board game coming from Paizo. So this was another story that was announced where we got just kind of the bare minimum. So again, we get more details now. Games based on Paizo's RPGs. It's Pirates of Skydock, and you can look at it in this preview, which you would not know this, but when I first look at this image here, it reminds me of Twilight Imperium. Because there's like a tech tree looking kind of thing, and you get cards with like objectives and stuff on them around the side. That's just immediate, and like everyone's usually ends up with one of these. It's a different race or something like that. But that's just what I have nothing about it, and then unlike in this image, this one I can't blow it up to get more details. You attempt to commandeer
Control Plus.
I know I could. Yeah, but that blows everything up. And also, if the image has been compressed, it's just going to make it extra blurry.
You're extra blurry.
Okay. Prototype Immortal class starship filled with top secret tech. Can you escape Skydock aboard the vessel, or will you be caught red-handed? Places players in the roles of adventurers attempting to seize a secret vessel located on Versus to steal the ship, players must risk it all to complete dangerous tasks before they raise suspicion. Oh, so maybe this is like all the tasks you have to complete. So maybe
Oh,
this
that
is
could be,
this
yeah.
is the overall board, and like you need to do all these things before the ship can go. Now I'm thinking of the Packlids from Star Wars. Make it go. We are the Packlids. Make it go.
The Packlids from Star Trek,
What did I say?
Star Wars.
I meant Star Trek. You know, that star thing.
The views and opinions of Chris Renshaw do not reflect the views and opinions of Philip Herbig
All right,
In
I'm just
regards
gonna keep on moving.
in regards to space epics.
Next up, so if you buy a house with a deck, and then later on you decide to do some renovations, tear the deck down and build a better one. Was the first deck a starter deck? So did you know that there was a Final Fantasy TCG?
Not until I opened this article.
Neither did I. That's why this looks like a generic announcement. Like it's just, oh, here's the next product release. But I was like, there's a Final Fantasy TCG? So Square Enix will release new Final Fantasy TCG 2-player starter set featuring Noctis versus Arden. October 28th, 2022. That is a very specific date to be this far out. like I hope nothing shipping related happens in the next 6 months.
Right?
250 card pre-constructed decks. This is themed around Final Fantasy 15 characters. Noctis has a wind and earth deck, and Arden's deck is fire lightning. Oh my gosh, they're designed so players can have a match right out of the box. Egads!
So start, and actually, that's a good price for a starter set.
Yeah, $26.99. That's about average, like 30 or under. That's about 20 to
Fair.
30. Yeah, I feel like $10 a deck is usually what you end up going for in the TCG realm. They also announced a new booster called Rebellion's Call. If I was making it, if it were up to me, and I was making a Final Fantasy TCG, this is me again knowing nothing about this and not looking into this any further than this story. I would make it so it would be across all the Final Fantasy properties, so that you could do a whole set. Like you could do sets for like each game, where it's like, oh, we're gonna do a Final Fantasy 14 set, or we're gonna do a Final Fantasy 10 set. That
would, and maybe that's in the works, and
or
maybe it exists, and we're just only now finding out about it.
Right. This could be that. It's just the only thing that this is set around a Final Fantasy 15 characters. So we don't know right now. But I would imagine
maybe they can talk with talk with Disney, throw a little Kingdom Hearts in there too.
If they still own the rights to it.
If they do still, that's right.
Because you'll find out in the next story. There's new TCGs every day, but I knew Final Fantasy has become really popular, especially with the 14. Ever since kind of WoW took a dump on its fan base by not putting out a lot of content and having a bunch of bad management decisions. A lot of people flocked to Final Fantasy 14, so thought that there might be some people interested in this little video game to tabletop game overlap. So, speaking of Square Enix, I made a new video game where an American football team explores Egyptian ruins, but apparently that's not what people wanted when they said they wanted a new Tomb Raider game. I always had to pause to see how did that joke go over.
I already used some of the good ones. I couldn't reuse it.
Our favorite group, Embracer Group, acquires assets of Square Enix. So this is going to sound like a video game story, especially if you've not been paying attention for the past 6 months, but just embrace it. It's coming. Well, I guess I could say it now. Embracer Group bought Asmodee back at the end of last year. So this has some applicability. But continuing its acquisition tear, Embracer Group has reached an agreement to acquire assets of Square Enix, bringing intellectual properties including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and Legacy of Kain to the owner of the Asmodee Group and Dark Horse. Yeah, that's the other thing, is they bought Dark Horse too. Like Dark Horse Comics.
Dark Horse Comics?
Yes,
Okay,
Dark Horse
yeah.
Comics. You know, they're not as popular since they don't do the Star Wars comics anymore, and that was like 90% of their comics. It also includes development studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal. That sounds familiar. Maybe that's the Tomb Raider. I don't know. And Square Enix Montreal for a total price $300 million. Expected to close in July. Now, this is so fascinating to me only because I'm just seeing, like, I don't know, people are just like, oh, they're just going through like, to me it's almost like I'm reading between the lines kind of thing. Like, they're buying properties out like they're just buying people to get IPs, and then, oh, by the way, we're also going to buy this comic book publishing company. Oh, by the way, we're also going to buy this massive board game publishing group. I wonder what they could be doing.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, yep.
A Tomb Raider game, by the way, would be pretty cool. I know it exists already, but like an official Tomb Raider game.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think they even said that, yeah, there's already, Dark Horse has already been producing Tomb Raider comics for years.
Okay.
So
now they could probably, yeah, okay. So decades ago, not just years ago, decades ago, I remember a bunch of, a lot of, so like when Pokemon first came out and all that stuff, sometimes there were comic tie-ins with a card on the back page. So it's like, I wonder if there could be, like, you've got Asmodee and you've got Dark Horse. We could start seeing that again.
That'd be cool.
Get some TCGs coming out, and
Arkham Horror comics that have like not like an exclusive card, but like because Magic Magic for a while had, I think IDW did a Magic comic book, and they would reprint cards. So these were new versions of cards that already existed, but like the cover art for the comic was the art for the comic or for the card.
Okay.
So that was really cool. That'd be kind of neat to see like comic book variants of cards for like Arkham or something.
Yeah.
Speaking of FFG, who does a Marvel game, Square Enix pursued the sale after a $200 million loss on its two Marvel games, Marvel Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. $200 million loss. Like, I mean, I heard good things about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I remember everybody talking trash about that Marvel Avengers game when it came out, about like bugs and stuff not working and stuff being just kind of lame, like nothing really special.
Nothing special. There was also, I remember people were kind of ragging on the voice acting. Like you understand, sure, you're not going to get.
Yeah, that was,
Robert
I
Downey
didn't know
Jr.
if
to
that
voice
was
Iron Man.
necessarily their fault, or to the fact that they just, they don't have the money to get.
Yeah, like, I mean, you kind of understand you're not going to get, like, there's no way you're going to get Robert Downey Jr. to voice Iron Man in a video game. But they were like, doesn't even sound anything similar. And I was like, does it matter?
Yeah.
Most of you people can't hear without subtitles anyway, so just like knock it off.
And that's the news we got for you this week. What?
You might get like a news closeout button too.
I need. I'll get that's the way the cookie crumbles from Bruce Almighty. Now you might be saying, what, Chris? Wasn't there a giant Warhammer convention, like big festival this past weekend? How did you not fill up the news with Warhammer stuff? I want to say I did that for you, the viewer, because I don't necessarily want this show to become the Warhammer Hour, because A, that already exists, and B, I know that not everybody likes the 40K. I will still talk about it in the banter because, that's what I'm obsessing on right now. But I try not to make the entire news about everything I care about. However, that being said, we will be talking about it in the last third of the show. But hopefully in a way that, even if you don't like Warhammer, you still might find this entertaining. We're going to turn it into a game show.
Ooh, game shows.
Yeah. We're going to do some solo game. Philip's going to play a solo game called Out of Context Comments.
Yes.
So, Philip, I've been on vacation. What have you been up to?
I've been working, not on vacation.
Well, you're saving for the next vacation.
I am saving up for the next vacation, which is in October.
But you have been so there was some. There's those Destiny Guardian games are back, aren't they?
That's right. The Guardian games are back. I played a couple days or a couple nights. I don't really log in as often as I normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because.
I'm glad it's not a subscription because I think I've logged in like once over the past 2 months.
Oh, geez, man. Gotta log in a little more often than that.
Well, the problem is you guys get on at like 9 o'clock, and I'm trying to be a good boy and go to bed a little bit earlier since I got to be up earlier now and drive to work again. So it's like 9 o'clock's when I'm at least like sitting in bed reading, getting myself ready to sleep.
Don't you have like a built-in chauffeur in the house right now?
Who?
Your daughter. Didn't you have to like get her driving hours up? You should like wake her up, have her drive you to work.
She's got the full license. She doesn't have to do hours. Well, not full, but like the provisional license.
Oh, there, see, still provisional. You got to get to practicing. You gotta keep
Also,
it up.
I would be late every day if I waited on her to get up and get ready. And when I say late, I'm not talking like 5-10 minutes late. I would be hours late if I waited for her.
You don't have to get ready. Put some sandals on, get in the car, and go.
Plus, she's leaving. She's already looking at the door, just like drooling, being like, "I'm almost out of here. I'm almost out of here."
Oh, all right.
I know I was when I was her age.
Don't forget us little people when you leave, kid. Gosh. Running away. All right. But yeah, like Destiny, the games are going on. I did. So there's one of the streamers I follow, a while back he put out there that so in Destiny 2 you have emotes and like your character can like dance or sit on a chair or whatnot.
Yeah.
And he said he hates the cat ear dance emote, this thing here.
Oh yeah.
So of course I already had it. And I thought for a second, I was like, I want to try to get an entire instance of the tower to just be doing the cat ear dance.
As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, this sounds like, the Philip thing would be to just get a bunch of people cat ears dancing.
He also put out there that so you can also change the color of your armor, your shader. He's like, yeah, the watermelon shader is the worst shader ever. I was like, okay, so I need an entire instance of the tower to be watermelon shaded and doing the cat ear dance.
Nice.
Just to annoy the hell out of him.
You had thrown in one of our group texts, you had talked about some other game. You were like, oh, this is on sale or this is free. I'm trying to remember what that game was.
Something went free. See, now we're going back through our messages.
How fast can I load up the Slack?
Right?
Apparently not that fast, according to today. My computer is not. I should probably restart this. Oh, nope. There we go.
Where did I put it, though, is the question.
Just Die already.
Just Die. Oh, that's right. That was in the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already passed. Terraforming Mars is.
But I'm saying, did you end up playing it?
Oh, I have not played it. I didn't think anyone else got it.
You put it. I did not. I was on vacation.
Okay.
And just, I mean, yes, I know you could do it from your phone. I just didn't care. No, I was just since you normally don't bring up the other ones, so I didn't know if there was like you had played this one or like, oh, get this, it's good, or something like that.
Oh, I read through the description and I was like, it's grandpa's beating the hell out of like everyone else. I'm gonna open the Epic Game Store and I'm gonna actually read the description because but yeah, it's something like grandpa's beating the hell out of everyone else.
This game may contain content not appropriate for all ages.
Yes.
Yes, I was born in 1923. That just happened to be what I scroll up to. All right, let's see. I can, through the magic of the internet. All right, I'm not going to play the video. Oh my God. This looks amazing.
Right?
Now I'm regretting that I didn't get this. I might have to get this.
See, for me, oh no, do not install. We're not doing that right now. We're just going to the store page. Yeah. When so like when COVID first hit and everything was like Epic was doing every single day.
Yeah.
They were giving you stuff. I kept a tab open in Chrome on my phone and I was like, oh yeah, in library, add library. Yeah, it's from the designers of Goat Simulator.
I
you
love
are
that
old
game.
And angry, and you've just been kicked out of your retirement home. How will you survive in a world that just wants you to die already? Yeah. So one grandma, she was like rocking out on a guitar, and apparently that was throwing electricity everywhere.
Oh, I see it. Yep, I just saw that. This guy's using. Yes, this definitely gives me Goat Simulator vibes, but with old people. And I mean that for a game that's called Goat Simulator, that was fun for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Maybe I wonder if this is on. I wonder if this
free
is
PvP update out now.
Nice. I wonder if this is. I don't know how you would not play this in PvP though.
Right.
Unless it's just like
learn the mechanics, and like the video is just awesome because like it's a limp lightsaber.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Oh, is it on Game Pass? Because it said crossplay everywhere.
That's right, crossplay all platforms. Yeah.
What does it say? Game Pass. There's this thing as like Game Pass Compare. I don't know what the heck this is. Oh, okay. So it's not included. Okay. Oh, that's neat. There's a Game Pass Compare. You can put in a game and it shows you what site. Oh, here, I'll put this back on screen again. It shows you what site it's. It's where you can find it on. Like here, it's not included on any other like Twitch Prime stuff or any like EA for this game at least. And you can go up and put like other games. And although this shows
$0 a month, $0 a year.
Yeah.
What's the red Game Pass?
I have no idea. Maybe it's like Ultimate versus the regular, because the old like the PC Game Pass versus the Xbox Game Pass.
I got you. Yeah.
Oh, I clicked through to the Epic Games Store just to see if it was still available, but nah.
No, they're pretty. Yeah, I like. If we put my library up on screen, like there's just everything that was free.
Apparently, May 12th is when Prey goes free, and I've heard that game is amazing. I've never played it. Yeah, I know nothing about it. I just know our friend Calvin on Twitter and such. He rants and raves about the game.
Okay.
But if you until May 12th, you can get Terraforming Mars.
Yeah. Which is a great game.
Yeah.
We liked playing the board game.
Dang it. Now I'm really upset I didn't get that. Because I don't know if I'd pay $15 for that.
Right.
But I would definitely play it for free. I think I would pay $10. I think that's a $10 game for me. Unless like y'all are playing it like all day, every night for like a week, you're playing this game.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I went on vacation.
How was it?
It was very relaxing. It's one of those vacations where it's like, I didn't do crap, and it was nice. It's not one of those like, oh, we're gonna go up, we're gonna see all these things, we're gonna do all these things and plan out this stuff. It's like, we're gonna go up and we'll figure it out when we get there.
There you go.
So, went to it was gonna be just a trip to go do the actual graduation for my MBA, but it ended up being like a week-long anniversary trip instead, because it was cheaper to stay in the mountains of Massachusetts at this resort than it was to get a hotel for a weekend up in New Hampshire, and it was only like a 2-hour drive between the resort and the college.
Okay.
So, but I quickly gained a new obsession, which was going to bookstores to try and find Horus Heresy books. Bring this up on screen. These first 3 books here are what I had before I went on the trip. And then aside from like 2 more, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like 12, like 11 or 12 of these books are what I got on the actual trip.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Because I combed like every Barnes and Noble up in like up in the Northeast. I was calling Games Workshops because some of them had like bits and pieces, like the Mechanicum here, book 9. I managed to get at a Games Workshop, and then I was like, oh, I haven't even called all the places around where I live, and this book 5, Fulgrim, was like impossible to find, and I just happened to call Third Eye Games and Hobbies up in Annapolis. They're like, oh yeah, we've got it, and I'm like, please hold it till Friday. They're like, we can only hold it like a day. I'm like, I will give you money. You can go ahead and ring it up. Just please wait until I come back on Friday, and I will get it on my way home. And so, yeah, I've almost got 1 through 10 all the way.
All right.
And that'll get me a good ways. I'm missing 7, 8, and 10, but 8 and 10 I think you can get on like Barnes and Noble's website. 7 is the problem. That's the one you like can't get anywhere unless I want to pay like $40 on Amazon.
Right? Some of those book prices are a little ridiculous.
Well, it's like because it's out of print, so it's just a used copy, and supply and demand. There's no supply and there's demand. But it was nice because like they've been doing all these like Horus Heresy announcements, and like literally today, because they announced the big box over the weekend. We'll get to that. They announced this like character figure that you could buy separately, and it's this guy called Lucius from the Emerald Champions. And like normally when I see named characters, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That guy looks neat. This one's like, I know him. I read about him. I know who this person is. It was actually nice because Ashley was helping me find places to look for books. And it's just, I quickly learned that calling before driving is a good thing, because you could just call, especially like game stores and like used bookstores, and be like, do you have the Horus Heresy, or do you have the Warhammer novels? And they'd be like, we don't even carry Warhammer. And I'm like, bye, click.
Yep.
Definitely saw a couple of different game stores. There was one in New York, because we're right there on the edge of Massachusetts, so like we're within striking range of like a lot of different areas.
Okay.
There was a place like right near Albany that was. I went to it because it looked promising. I had already called, so they didn't have novels, but I was going to be in the area picking one up from somewhere else. So I was like, I'll stop by and get an actual game store visit in, see what they got.
There you go. Yeah.
This store felt like it walked straight out of its mom's basement. Like it just had that funk smell. Like it just smells like dude. Like, and they had the doors open and everything. Like it's raining outside and they got the doors open.
And it's still
like, it's probably just stale air. Like they just don't have like a good AC system that's like circulating air. And it's just, but it's just like, bro, you are not you are not getting. I'm sure the people that come here love you, but I'm sure there's a large amount of people that aren't coming here
On purpose.
on purpose. Speaking of businesses, did you see the D&D bistros opening up in a couple weeks?
I don't have their page.
Bard's Bistro. It's opening up next to our friendly local game store. They're expanding to have a bistro now that's like D&D themed, and it's opening up. It's been in the progress for a while, and it's finally about to open up. So I'm very curious, but I'm also excited because you don't know how many times I've been playing Warhammer and like, dang it, I need to go get food because I've been here all day. But I don't want to walk to get food. I don't want to leave to get food. If only there was a place next door I could go and get food and possibly have them walk it over to me so I don't even have to move.
There you go. Yeah.
So, oh man! Plus they announced a whole bunch of new so as you do with the new edition, you keep slowly. This shouldn't be the way that they're doing it, but they just like every month or so a new faction comes out with its updated codex, which means you could be 2 years into the game and your faction is still using old rules. Terrible way of doing things, but that's just how they've decided to do it. And they finally got around to the Imperial Knights, the big, huge walker things, the one like I had over here I was painting last time. And so they finally announced that and all that stuff coming out. Hold on. I was trying to see if maybe I could bring it up real quick. Here we go. And hey, Hoser 40K is in the chat room. Yes, and I have never liked how Games Workshop released their codexes. Yeah, we had a whole big chat in the local Discord talking about it, what they should be doing. But everybody's got their idea. Yeah, so they got these little huge walker dudes. But they got they're coming out with like all the new. Yeah, like now they got the new the Chaos Knights coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah. No longer available online. Yeah. You want to just all right, Philip. You may have already seen the price, but name that price. What do you think all this is? How much is all this? So what we're seeing here for those on the audio, this is the Chaos Knights Armies box, which comes with one of the big old daddies, the I don't know what the names are, especially for Chaos. And then you get these two like little, I think they're called Armitage, at least in the Imperial Knights. So you get the big walker, and then the still big compared to a Space Marine, but not as big walkers. This would be like the AT-AT. This would be like the AT-ST over here. You get also a nice collector's edition of the Codex and some data cards that have like all your special abilities and stuff on it. What do you think, Philip? How much is this worth?
Hang on just a second. I'm gonna go in terms of Taco Bell quesadillas.
Okay.
That's about 50 plus Taco Bell quesadillas.
Okay. How much is a quesadilla? $3?
Quesadilla is like $5 pop.
$5. And you said how much?
50 plus.
50 plus. So was that 250?
Yeah, over $250.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. 265.
That's ridiculous.
$265. That's how much this
is. For plastic and a book.
And cards.
And cards. For plastic and paper.
I mean, yeah, I also never liked how expensive their toys are either. I will say, though, if you're going to buy this stuff, it's going to sound weird saying $265 is a deal, but it kind of is.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, if if you take aside the fact that this stuff is normally expensive and you were going to buy this anyways, like this codex right here, that's $50 alone. These cards are like $25. It's like $150 or $170 for this dude alone, and then it's like $80, $90 for this pair of dudes back here, the little small dudes. So it's like when you add that up, you're probably saving like $50 buying it all together. But it's still a lot of money. Especially some people be like, for that price, you could buy this other game that. But I'd be like, but nobody's playing that other game.
Yeah, and that seems to be a common theme when you start mentioning price on things. Like, oh well, for $265, you could buy the Power Rangers board. Okay, yeah, you could. You're not wrong. I did do that. I could also buy 50 quesadillas.
Also, entirely viable option.
Yeah, I'm a little fat man. That's over here,
and a Diet Pepsi.
That's right, diet. You
Yeah, and a Diet Pepsi, or Diet Baja, whatever your flavor is. Baja Blast.
What, the Baja Blast or the Baja?
Baja. Yeah. So, I was drooling over because they also released a bunch of the Imperial Knight stuff. That was cool. And then I did finish some painting. I finished the Aeronautica Imperialis, which is the X-wing for the X-wing. Yeah, X-wing for 40K. So I gotta say, I was very, very impressed with how I managed to. Let's see if this will actually focus. Probably not. But these ships, they looking pretty fine, especially the Aldari ones, the red ones. They came out looking real fancy. I even tried some edge highlighting around there, so it looks like a little lighter around the edges. They're looking pretty sweet. I tried to do it on the Space Marine ones. That's these blue ones over here, but I used the wrong color and it just stood out like a highlighter. It just looked like you just took a highlighter on it, and so I ended up like redoing it. And I just decided these things are so boxy that they didn't need highlights after all.
So I feel like that's a common theme across all of sci-fi.
Yeah, that humans have to have the boxy ships.
Yeah, humans are boxy.
Yeah. That's why I love the ship designs in Star Trek. Because they're not. They're like, they're nice, we can actually have style in our ships.
Yeah. It's in space.
Well, I mean, because the rest of sci-fi goes under the correct notion that you don't need aerodynamics in space. And so, therefore, a box has a lot more space than a rounded box.
You can strap an engine to a brick and it'll still fly.
Yeah. That's why I also liked the Daedalus class in Stargate, because it kind of mixed the two, where it was still a little boxy, like, hey, we're still humans trying to perfect this whole flying in outer space thing, but it also has some style to it.
Oh, but I mean, as much as they were the bad guy, the Goa'uld had style.
Well, yeah, that's always the thing. The aliens always have style.
Pyramids flying shit.
Yeah, the aliens always have style. It's the humans that are the boxes.
Oh yeah, I mean, most notably the Vorlons and the Minbari White Stars from Babylon 5.
You're outside of my wheelbase.
They were wow, so beautiful. Very, very.
But I think we're drifting into Patreon bonus bits talk. Speaking of which,
that's the kind of stuff you can expect if you go to patreon.com/boardsandSwords.
Yeah, I watched one episode of Picard. I know it's all caught up. Some people it's all over with now, but I'm only like 3 episodes left. And then I got my vacation. Last time we talked about Philip's vacation, and I say last time because the episode that we recorded previously, I have not had a chance to edit those bonus bits and put them out yet because remember, I went on vacation. So apologies, that is a little late, but you will be getting them this week probably at some point, hopefully before this episode comes out.
When will then be now?
Soon. I saw.
So you said
Sorry.
you had 3 episodes left. I'm just trying to picture where you.
Where they go into Picard's brain.
Red dress?
Yes, but
Okay.
like red dress breaking the window.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, one side tangent that's video game related, and then we'll move on. Today we were at work and they were talking about some facility being down, and they're like, "We're hoping that it'll be up in the next couple of months, but we don't know," and blah blah blah. Hopefully, hear word soon. And I just made like a low comment to myself, and I was like, we're talking Blizzard soon. And somebody laughed next to me. I was like, aha, I found a video gamer. So yeah,
sometime in the near future.
Yep. Boardsandswords.com/Patreon or patreon.com/boardsandswords. Take your pick. Bag us for $1. You get access to the bonus bits. But now, Philip, it is time for a game show here.
Yep.
And I just realized I need to have the links.
I've got a game. It says game song. Can I press that one?
Yes. No. I don't know if pressing it. Oh, you talking about in the
in the soundboard? Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
It does nothing.
It was probably like Colin put it there to like put it, and I just deleted it.
Yeah, it's gone.
And it's gone. Yeah, he doesn't have a response to that. Okay, so while I'm getting this pulled up, what we have for you here is a game that everybody, let's don't get too excited now, because Chris making new games is about 50-50 on the is this good or is this bad. But hopefully, I ran the idea at least across Ashley, and she enjoyed it. So hopefully, the idea being is it was like, oh, I want to talk about Warhammer Fest, but I know that not I don't want to take up the entire news segment talking about Warhammer, and B, nobody would enjoy that except for people, obviously, that liked Warhammer. And I would like to make the show appealing to more people. So I was like, okay, what if I did a separate thing about it, and I made fun of it instead? Now we're speaking languages.
Yep, there we are.
So what I have here is I have six stories that 6 different announcements that they made at Warhammer Fest, which was this online stream that they did. Normally it's like a big convention they do over in England that all like the basically if you're in Britain you go to it and stuff because you could just walk there because that's how small the country is. Don't hate me. But the past couple years they've been doing it online, and that's where they do a lot of announcements for like the next few months of stuff that's coming out. So I took those stories, and specifically I went on the Facebook page for Warhammer, and I went through the comments of the where they post up the article talking about the next announcement or whatever. And I went through the comments, and I found comments that, if you know what they're talking about, probably make perfect sense. But once you pull that comment out in isolation, you have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
All right.
So I've taken those and put them here. And Philip, I'm going to read you the comment, and I want you to tell me what is the story talking about.
All right.
And this is a solo game. You're only competing against yourself. So, this is a kind of thing I could replicate in other times with like Gen Con or something. We do a bunch of Gen Con announcements. So see how high of a point you can get. You get points based on how close are you to the actual story, but you also get points just for how funny can you make, or how much can you make me laugh with the actual result, or with the story you come up with.
I got you.
So, all right, first comment, and I've blocked out whoever responded these because we're not making fun of the actual comment. Just before anybody thinking I'm picking on people. No, the idea is just if you take it out of context, or assuming you don't know anything about Warhammer, because some of you might see some stuff in here and know immediately what they're talking about. So, first comment goes, did I understand it right? I will need a mostly useless app with more bugs than Windows 95 to get a point update? Wow. That's a far easier way to give the app at least one reason to exist than to just make anything work. So, Philip, What is this person talking about?
I'm gonna go with a dice rolling / scorekeeping app.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you 2 points, one for trying and one for you're on the right path. You're not close, but you're on the right path at least. And that is, there was a chapter that they're talking about the new season of Warhammer 40K, and they're talking about a new book coming out called Chapter Approved. Now, normally, this is where, in a huge game, you have to do these like balancing things. And the Chapter Approved are normally where Warhammer, if they need to make changes to like any of the point values, they publish updated point values for everything in here. So if like, this unit is too powerful for its cost, we're going to up its point cost. Well, now in 2022, somebody finally had the idea, hey, wait a minute, what if we just put that online? So somebody said, let me see if I get here. Yes, points updates will be free as of this new season of Warhammer 40K. You'll be able to get them in the Warhammer 40K app and right here on the Warhammer community website. So the point updates are not going to be in the Chapter Approved book. That's going to be they're going to have other stuff in there. But if you only get the Chapter Approved books for finding out how much your army now costs, you don't have to do that anymore.
Okay. So it'll save you money.
For competitive people,
Yeah.
they were the ones buying the books because people just end up posting them online anyways. So
yeah. The one guy spends $40, and then the world.
Yeah. It even has secondary. So one reason, like, why in the world would I buy this? I feel like if you're playing on like the pro circuit, whatever a pro means, if you're playing in competitive tournaments, you're probably buying these books every time they come out. Because they'll have, especially, remember how I said some codexes aren't available yet?
Yeah.
Well, they will publish sometimes stuff for those armies in these books to kind of like still make them competitive.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, there's secondary objectives for armies whose codexes aren't out yet, such as Chaos Demons and Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard. Okay. So, there are going to be some actual rule changes. There's some CP stuff in here that I don't know how that's going to work. Plus, there's usually, like, the one thing that is good is it's a mission pack thing, which means it comes a lot like, oh, the next season of Warhammer's on this planet. Everybody's fighting over this thing, so they can make missions that are thematic to that planet, and that's cool. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
But so all right, going back here. So here's our next item.
Next item up for bid.
Next item up for business. Think I'll paint my thighs as armor. And then the little XD emoticon. Okay. Not really looking for speed. Not really for speed loincloth look.
Ain't my thighs as armor. Not really looking for speed loincloth look.
Yeah. They're not really liking the speed loincloth look.
Oh, not liking the speed loincloth look. Okay. I'm gonna say this has something to do with a new unit's like armor design.
Okay, I will give you 3 points for that one because you're a little bit. You're definitely warm. You're definitely warmer on there. Note that I'm making the scale up as I go along. Reveal.
Everything's made up, and the points don't matter.
The heretic Astartes revel in the blessings of the Chaos Gods. So they've been teasing that one of the armies coming up is going to be the Chaos Space Marines because they still haven't gotten a codex yet. Which to me, it seems like I feel like Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines should be like the 2 first codexes
like,
you come out with.
Everyone's been So just the codexes are what exactly?
The codexes are your rules for your army. So
okay.
it is. Gotcha. This is where the points first get printed for your army. Then the chapter approved is like, here's the modified because we need to balance things. But this is also like, here's the special powers your thing has, and here's all the different options for like what brotherhood or what chapter are you going to be, and if you have this unit and this unit and this unit, you can do this combo, and if you want to have special secondary objectives that are specific to that are kind of thematic to your units instead of the generic ones out of the rule book. Yeah. This is all the stuff
they
that
don't have that yet?
Nope. In 9th edition, this is like the 2-year anniversary 9th edition.
Oh, so did like 8th edition have a codex?
Yes. So
Okay,
until
gotcha.
a codex comes out, you're using the old codex.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So a
But-
9th edition codex.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But the
I
problem,
thought ever since like 1st edition there hadn't been a
No,
Chaos Space Marine
no, no,
codex,
no.
and I was like, dude, they've been around for like freaking.
but here's the problem. When 9th edition came out, they decided that Space Marines were going to go from 1 wound to 2, which doesn't sound like much, but it means when you're dealing damage, you're just picking people off instead of just picking people off one by one. That when I'm dealing damage, if it's just my gun that only does 1 damage, then I'm only hurting them like halfway. I'm not killing them. Because the Chaos ones haven't had their codex yet. They're still only 1 wound. So, like, I
Okay.
played a Chaos guy, and, like, my guys with Stormbolters are just mowing them down. Because as long as 1 damage gets through, that's a unit gone per damage.
Okay, I see that. Yeah.
Now, there have been Chaos factions that have gotten, like, if a faction gets big enough, it gets its own codex kind of thing.
Okay.
So, like, there's been some Chaos factions of Space Marines that have gotten codexes. But anyways, with a new codex becomes all new sorts of figures and all new sorts of sculpts. This is where your speed loincloth comic comes in.
Okay.
So we got his like chain sword here, and he's wearing this. He looks like he's got a. Yeah, he does look like he's just wearing a loincloth and boot. Like if you wore he's got nothing on his thighs. That's so he's like covered everywhere but his thighs.
Jeez.
But I guess
high level armor. That's what that is.
Yeah, I guess I mean if you're shooting at somebody, you're not really aiming for the thighs. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking through.
Speed
Yeah, here we
loincloth.
go. Here's some more dudes. These are some more cultists. Again, wearing the little cloaks. But now the comment makes more sense. Think I'll paint my thighs as armor. Talking about filling in those gaps. Like I'm just gonna paint these all the same. So it just looks like he's wearing pants. And then of course you got like the more demonic looking armies. Yeah. So
That's
yes, coming soon. But now let's move on to another one. That is this comment goes, your face when you total up how much you've spent on the hobby over the years. What article or what reveal is this one talking about?
This probably has to do with a I want to say this has something to do with like maybe an announcement of a lower price point
No.
for items.
No, wrong track there.
Way wrong track.
No. You get one for trying. And that is the all-new Demon Prince spreads his wings in Warhammer 40k. So this is a new Demon Prince. But if you scroll down to his face, and I will Control Plus to zoom in here, people were looking at his face. Here you hear it is like, ah! So there were comments where people clipped out just the dude's face, and then somebody commented underneath, it's like your face when you total up how much you've spent on the hobby over the years. So I know nothing about this. Is again going on to the demons and the chaos, which is not the faction I play. So I don't know if this. Let's see. Does this have a specific? Oh, it can be built. Oh, so this is just a generic demon prince with different options to pay homage to each of the 4 chaos guides or chaos undivided. You'll note he bears some of the marks of his former existence as a chaos space marine. So this is a guy. He got too into the chaos where he's like, I thought I was out, but they pulled me back in, and now he's got a tail. He's got a sword. He's got a sword with some runes on it. Actually, you know what? If I did this, I would totally paint up that sword like Frostblade or Frostmourne, because that's totally what this blade looks like. It's like a Frostmourne blade. And then he's got like this tail and standing on some skulls, and he's got skulls on like every piece of his armor. This looks like a cannon that is grown into his arm. Yeah. Like a cannon is just kind of grown out of his arm, which, hey, it's chaos, but
it's
and then the back here, that's the like, you see the little armor pod or the little jetpack exhaust pods on like the power packs of Space Marines. This looks like a more evolved form of it, so it almost looks like horns now. So yeah, I could definitely see how this used to be a Space Marine, especially with the armor. But yeah, if you definitely when you see the back of the pack, it definitely looks like one of those power packs. Here's all the different faces for the different chaos gods. That one looks like a chicken. Is it just me, or does that one look, or not a chicken, like a hen? Yeah, so a chicken. This looks like some Diablo stuff up there.
Right? Yeah.
I'm getting Zerg feels from this one down here. Actually, these two both could be Zerg.
I feel like red horns.
I feel like this is a cross between like Zerg, like if the Zerg and the Protoss had like a baby, this is what this one in the bottom right corner looks like. He's a little.
Didn't that actually happen in game?
Maybe. I didn't get that far in StarCraft 2. This one, it's a little pale, like it didn't spend enough time in the oven to cook right.
Right.
Then you got demonic chickens here, and then Diablo.
The one with the tongue has something to do with the orcs.
Yeah, it does. This one, it does almost look like an orc-ish kind of thing, or a zombie, which that's Death Guard. You know, the whatever the diseased god one is Nurgle. Is that right? Did I get that right? Nurgle is the god of disease and.
Oh, I'm not 100%.
I wasn't expecting you to answer. I was just somebody like silently clapping in the background that I got it right. All right. This one, the comment goes, I love it and shall name it the Vroomba in all caps. Vroomba.
A Vroomba?
The Vroomba.
So that's got to be about a vehicle.
Okay.
That's it's got to be I want to go with an orc vehicle.
Oh, you're close. You're on the right path. That it's not human, so we'll give you 3 points. But the Leagues of Votan get on their trikes, so it's a dwarf. It's a dwarf thing. It's the Imperial Chopper. So you've heard about. So apparently the squats. So right here, this is the trike that they used to have. This is like the old days when they were in the game, and the trike they used to have. Now you've got the trike they have now. Which, honestly, you know what? I saw this model. It's a trike. It's still got 3 motors per se. What would have been wheels. But you know what this reminds me of? Did you ever get Boy's Life?
Yes.
Did you ever look in the
thing
in the back that was like, get the plans to build your own hover bike?
Yes, out of your mom's vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Get your ass beat.
Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. Like a more steampunk version of this. So it is, and people are freaking out because it is a dwarf without a beard, so probably a female dwarf. On this like very, very heavily armored Choppa, which this looks awesome. Like this right here makes me want to. Now I want to have a dwarf army, the Leagues of Votan as they're called in Warhammer now.
Also, whoever painted that and like took the pictures of it, they did very good because I can't see where it connects to the base.
Yes, I was wondering that too. Where it's like. How does this thing connect? Like the only thing I can think of is maybe it connects here at this back wheel or this back hover pad, and the other two, like the way it's weighted, it just manages to hover because it's anchored in the back. That's the only thing I can think of. Or they just photoshopped out the the supports.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be the...
That could that could be possible as well. So yeah, you got some up close and personal shots here. Look at this giant gun. Like, I swear you're gonna see some other pictures coming up, or maybe you're not. Who knows? But they definitely go with like a Deep Rock Galactic sort of look on a lot of these dwarf.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So next we have this one. These last two are going to be very hard for you, and probably super easy for anyone that knows Warhammer, but not me, because I didn't know these terms. The first one is, and now, Zoats. Spelled Zoats. Zoats. And now, Zoats.
And now Zoats.
Mm-hmm. So feel free to go wild on this.
And now Zoats. I'm thinking... See, I got...
This is where you get points for
head,
you get points for creativity on these.
Yeah, in my head, I'm picturing a mix of like a zeppelin and a boat, which put me right into World of Warcraft with the goblins creating the flying ships.
The zeppelins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the only and now Zoats. That's the only thing that comes to mind when...
You know what? I give you the point for trying. I give you a point for creativity. And then I'm also going to give you a point because you're not that far off.
Oh.
And
something that flies?
And that... So the goblins did a lot of stuff for the Horde, but who were the smart mechanical people on the Alliance side?
The gnomes.
And the dwarves. Well, the gnomes mostly, but there was a lot of the dwarves as well. So, this is the other article I was talking about. So they talked about, so the term squat, you'll hear people talk about squat a lot. That was from when the this dwarven type thing was in the game Necromunda, which is a skirmish game. We talked about it a couple weeks ago where they're doing the whole Ash Waste, Mad Max style game. But now they've revealed that instead of, while they're doing the Leagues of Votan thing for the big 40K armies, they're bringing back full-on squats for their skirmish game Necromunda. And because the Ash Waste is all about vehicular combat and that sort of thing, we're getting, squats on bikes and squats on other things. So this just shows off. And this is what I was talking about. You want to talk about some Deep Rock Galactic looking minis? Look at these guys. There were so many other comments that like somebody photoshopped in a Juggernaut helmet onto these guys because they definitely have this kind of the helmet of this dude definitely looks like it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So Rusted Beetle is in the chat room and talks about Midwinter Minties painted a classic Zoat. So now I need to know what a Zoat is. But so he's got this hammer looking thing. He's got this cool looking gun. Let's see, is there more pics? Ah, here we go. Oh, this one's dual wielding. This is your gunner here. So this is I forgot the classes in Deep Rock. I'm gonna say this is like your miner because he's got the hammer.
The digger, the scout, the engineer, and the gunner.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this is the digger. Here's your gunner. That could be a scout, but that also just looks like the same mini over there. Oh, nope. This might. Oh, we're gonna say this is the engineer, because that's probably like a flamer. That big gun down there.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely.
Well, we're just back to the.
Yeah. Oh no, I gotta wait 20 seconds for the minis to pop on my screen.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So later will be if I can actually talk. So coming soon to Necromunda. So if you don't want to buy the big old huge 2,000 point armies of dwarves, you can buy instead just a squad of squats, a squad, and the Book of the Outlaws, which has all their rules and stuff in it. Squats, as Rusty Beetle says, keeping gamers in shape, a very round shape.
And round is a shape.
So I've been interested in learning like the base game in Necromunda, not all the stuff. And there was one group, because I don't like the kind of the dirty cyberpunk look of Necromunda, but I like some of the skirmish rules and some of the terrain rules of it. So there was only like one gang that I liked because they were a little bit more armored and they had like more like breathing apparatus kind of stuff because they're sick of poisoning or bringing in poison air. But now that these squats are coming out, I'm like, oh no, I'm getting a squat army. Because although it's mostly the rules for the Ash Waste stuff, you could still just use the minis by themselves in the regular Necromunda game. So I was like, oh yeah, Daddy's getting himself some dwarves for. Although I promised myself I'm not buying anything for this game until I play it. I need to play it and know, because I did that with Aeronautica Imperialis. I put it on my list. Somebody bought it for me. And then the other person that was interested in the game was like, nah, I just left my stuff over at this dude's house. I don't feel like playing anymore. I was like,
oh,
son of a bitch. All right. Last one for you here.
Last one.
That is, the comment is simply, Beaky Boys aplenty.
Beaky Boys aplenty? Okay, so that's got to have something to do with orcs.
Beaky Boys aplenty.
Beaky Boys. That's got to have something to do with orcs.
Okay. Is that
and I don't know, maybe like a giant transport full of orcs that's just disgorging them onto the battlefield.
I give you the point for trying, but other than that, I award you.
Nothing to do with orcs, does it?
No. Other than that, I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Nope. This was kind of the grand reveal, and I mentioned it briefly in the beginning of the show. This was the grand reveal of the brand new box set for Warhammer: The Horus Heresy, coming to Warhammer Fest. So they call it Beaky Boys because, like, for instance, if you look over here, this is a Raven Guard dude, and he's got kind of like a beak helmet. I'm assuming this is what
Horus has a yeah.
Well, no. Well, not in this game. Horus was not the Raven Guard, but Horus Heresy is all about Space Marines on Space Marines, and Raven Guard is a brand or is a type of chapter. The Horus did the Lunar Wolves, which eventually then became the Sons of Horus or Horus. So yes, they announced the brand new. So I mean, you at least get the point for trying because there is a giant tank carrier thing that has a bunch of Space Marines in it.
Oh, there we go.
But yep. So have you looked in the chat yet? If so, don't. If not, don't look.
What?
Have you looked in the chat yet? Because don't
I
look.
mean, as soon as you talked about the chat, I looked at it.
Okay. Did you see the price point for this?
Huh? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, $300 for this giant box Warhammer: The Horus Heresy, Age of Darkness, which apparently this is what they call 7th. Basically, uses the 7th edition rule set. Is how I. So if you played Warhammer 7th edition, then you don't need to learn a new game because it's all right there. But
Mark 6 power armor.
Mark,
armor with a U too. Or
yeah.
More.
Well, this is British. They just like putting U's in everything.
Everywhere.
Just like the Grey Knights are spelled with an E instead of an A on in the word gray. I discovered the way you know the difference is in America we spell gray with an A. In England they spell it with an E.
A was the color and E was someone's name.
You might be right too, but they use it for gray, the color over there. Yeah, Horus Heresy, the schism where the armor and tanks are almost the same as they are 10,000 years later. With the correction of Primaris. That's where the big difference come down. In 40K, at least as of a couple years ago, they started introducing Primaris this and Primaris that, and now everything's different. They're in like Mark 8 and 9 power armor versus your like 4, 5, and 6, which you can tell. I think 4 and 5 has these little nodule things on the shoulder pads where you got these little bumps. I don't know what point those do. I watched a video where they talked about it, but they never really explained why it has the bumps on it.
Yeah.
They just said that that's how you can tell that armor. So yeah, lots of new baddies and figures. So
you know what that could be?
What?
That could be a mounting point for something.
I mean, it's possible. So in this box, you get 40 Space Marine Legionnaires to make up whatever legion you want. That's not all you get. That's just the first thing you get. So you get 40 different Legionnaires that you could paint in whatever legion you want. You get 2 Praetors, who are basically like your commanders. There we go. That's the word. So here's your commanders that you could. I'm assuming they're going to have different sculpting options so that if you don't want to do Raven Guard, you don't have to put the Raven Guard helmet on. You also get this bad boy, the Contemptor Dreadnought. So the Dreadnought, I think I've heard you talk about it. This is where the Space Marine dies, and they take his brain and put it into a giant robot.
Oh yeah. Like the guy on TikTok, he's like, yeah, they're like, he's like seconds away from death.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nope, we're gonna shove your ass in a giant thing of power armor and get back to work.
Yeah. They get their second life, basically. Oh man, it's so creepy. You should probably watch more of that Angels of Death, because there might be a Dreadnought in that show, and it's freaking amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, some more pictures of this one, the Contemptor Dreadnought here. This does look like an older version of like what a Dreadnought looks now. So this definitely it gives me like 1950s vibes. Like he's gonna pull up at a soda shop.
Yep.
And then of course you get a tank transport. So the Spartan is bristling with las cannon arrays and can transport up to 26 Space Marines in power armor. Although I don't know if it would actually fit 26 of those minis.
Right? Like,
but on paper, it fits 26.
In their power armor too. So that's
yeah. Well, you don't exactly get Space Marine. You don't get Space Marines minis out of power armor.
That's right.
So
I wonder how many. Like in universe. I wonder how many could fit without their power armor.
15 or half as much. So let's see, 13 more.
Okay, yeah.
And then the Spartan was originally designed to get Terminators into the heat of battle, and the set is rounded out with 10 of the elite Space Marines clad in the finest, oh boy, cataphracti plate.
Cataphracti. Finest cataphracti plate.
Okay, sure, if you say so. But in addition, you also get templates, measuring sticks, dice, the new rule book, which this rule book looks beefy. Like that's when I saw $300 and I was like, that's a lot, especially for the amount of minis you get. And then I saw this rule book in here. I was like, oh, that's where like a little bit of the extra money's coming from. Because I bet this book's probably going to be like $60, $70 on its own. Like that looks like a beast of a rule book. They've been updated and improved, perfect for Time of Titans, Primarchs, and legions of superhuman warriors. So, looks like they are using templates for this game versus the whippy sticks are back, says Rusted Beetle. 40k tanks are really TARDISes with treads.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but $300. And for actually, here you go. This is the grand picture that shows everything that comes in the set.
Oh, those are always fun.
Yeah. Especially like, so So wait, how many? So how many quesadilla or how many quesadillas is that?
$5 per quesadilla. So
Okay,
it's 60 quesadillas
60. Okay, so you can get 10 more quesadillas with this than
for that box set. Yeah,
yeah, instead of buying the Chaos Knights.
that's right.
But this has everything you need to play.
Right. Oh, it's just the way they're positioned. I was like, why does it look like they're fighting each other?
Oh, it says
Okay.
less than $300 when it launches.
Oh.
Oh.
$299.99.
So Rusty Beetle in the chat goes, so $299.99.
Yeah, like that's that's not incorrect.
We represent but are legally distinct.
Exactly.
So there you go. There was a lot of other Warhammer stuff, but some of it involved Age of Sigmar, which I don't play, so I didn't talk about, and I have no info to gather there. And then I didn't talk about the Kill Team stuff because it was just like, hey, Space Marine box for Kill Team, and it's like, cool, I already have Space Marines. But you need to buy the rules for that though. I think I'm gonna try and get my dad to play.
Ooh.
So around my birthday, I'm gonna go down and because like we're gonna do a combined sort of Mother's Day, my birthday, Father's Day, my graduation kind of celebration thing, where it's just me. Everybody else is gonna stay up here because Chloe's still graduating the weekend afterwards or the week after this. But
That's gotta stop.
huh?
That's gotta stop.
But I'm gonna go down
on Saturday. I was just over at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
For one of her kids' birthdays, and her oldest is turning 15, and all this stuff. I'm like, this needs to knock it off. This is what needs to happen.
Yeah. And so since it's just going to be me, it means I'll be probably able to get more gaming in with mom and dad. And I think so. I'm not going to even try. I'm not going to attempt something like full 40K, but I think I might try the Kill Zone or the Kill Team, the smaller set, like the minis you've got. They got a new rule book though. I got to get the new rule book though. But bring in just like a few minis. I've got some terrain enough for a board, and you're only playing with like 5 to 10 units or 5 to 10 models. I think it might be just fine for it. So, or Rusty Beetle's calling me out saying, or you could pick up the free rules from one-page rules.
So in a generic tournament setting, what's like the point limit?
A standard game of 40K is 2,000 points.
Is it 2,000 points?
2,000 points.
Okay. And what's like your generic factory produced Space Marine worth?
Like 25?
25? Okay, gotcha.
Ish. So I'll show you
40. Is that right?
Ish, I guess. I will show you. So this right here on screen right now, this is 1,000 points for my army. Like, because we're doing another escalation league, and we're at the 1,000-point level. So you've got the two big.
Excuse me.
So you've got the two big dreadnoughts dreadknights in the back. I've got two headquarter units or two characters basically, and then a squad of two squads of Terminators. So this isn't the list I'm currently running. I've modified this slightly, but for example, this is 1,000 points of Grey Knights.
1,000 points. Okay.
So double this would be a standard game of 40K, but they've also made it so that you could play different point styles. And I mean, 500 obviously would be half this. That's the Combat Patrol, which they sell in the special boxes that you can buy that, and that's just everything you need to play the Combat Patrol stuff.
Yeah, my math was off. It's actually 80.
And I thought 40 sounded low.
80 Space Marines would be 2,000 points.
Yeah, but that's at a 2,000 point game, you got to have tanks. You got
to have something.
Because honestly, if you had a team of just all Space Marines, sure, that's a lot of shooting, which that would be a lot there. But one tank's just gonna like start annihilating like guys because it's gonna have a high strength value, and it's just gonna start shooting stuff and lobbing stuff from far away, so you'd be dying before you even get to it.
get close and drive over them.
Or I'll just, you have somebody fly by in an aircraft and you can't even hit it because it's flying.
Yeah. It's like TIE fighters. Overwhelm them with cheap and lots of them.
Oh, that reminds me, so we just finished the last game of our 1,000 points.
Okay.
And we're going up to 1,500. So that's 500 points I've got now to work with to add stuff in. However, this Saturday is when the Imperial Knights Codex comes out. So the full-up rules for that giant mini I have, which, give or take what weapons you load with it, could be 500 points.
I was just thinking, you don't even have to change army size. You can just add stuff to them.
It's not the most competitive list, but it sure as heck will be the most fun for me to just drop in for that extra 500 points, not change anything else, but drop in that knight and be like, "Who's ready for some fun?" And it gets targeted immediately and dies, and clearly I wasn't. That's the problem when you have big units like that. Everybody focuses on that first, which is good because then you can get other guys into But
Sneak around the back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. That was our out of context comments. So I hope you enjoyed that, even if you weren't necessarily a Warhammer fan. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But that's all she wrote for this week's episode.
All right, everyone. That has been our show. If you like what we're doing, make sure you check out boardsandswords.com/live. That's going to have the schedule for where you can watch us live. It's also got the past recordings that we've done. Where you can find us, it's got our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels. It's also got the links to everything that we've done in the past. All the when Baby Chris and Baby Phil were first starting out, plus all the live play podcasts we've done. It's great stuff. Check it out, boardsandswords.com, and it's got all the fun things we do.
All right, so we get the right camera up here. Like the show, then you need to email us with comments and questions. Feedback at boardsandswords.com. We love them. We'd love to talk about them here on the show. Let me know if you enjoyed that game show, or if you've got any other ideas. That would be fantastic. I'd like to do more, instead of the serious topic things, that was kind of good to talk about, but I'd also like to do more kind of jokey stuff, because it is, in the heading. So we're on social media, facebook.com/boardsandswordspod, at Boards and Swords on Twitter, at Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram, boardsandswords.com/Discord. That's where you need to go. Only go there. Don't go anywhere else. Go to Discord. Because I loved it. I got channels all set up for board games. If you don't care about miniatures, you can mute the miniatures channel, etc., etc. So, lastly,
Channel called Only Pets. It's great.
Only Pets. Yep. Yep. It was cat pics, and then someone was like, "But I have dog pics," and I was like, "Okay, fair point." So, and lastly, thank you for listening. Once again, patreon.com/boardsandswords to help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story. And Philip's story was 13 points this time.
13.
We'll have to keep that noted.
Was that my 13th reason?
Oh.
No,
Wait
the price point on Space Marines is my 13th.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody in the chat room. We will shut this down. Thanks, everybody, for hanging